What's up, guys?
How are you?
Good.
Big game
doing
this
great.
Saturday.
Yeah.
What kind of opportunity like this, going to Assembly Hall, all the history there, playing number 16 Indiana, what could it do for your team this early?
Tremendous opportunity. You know, I think some of the history of Assembly Hall and all that probably will be lost on these guys. They're young, and it's been a while since they were the old, Bobby Knight Indiana Hoosiers that were winning national championships. But it's a good play, a good team in a tough environment to play. We're going to step right off of the bus, and the fans are going to hate us to our core for the 3 hours that we're in there. So I think it presents a great opportunity for us just to play one against a good team early, but two, in a hostile environment. The team's going to grow from it. If you can come out there with a win, it really helps, later on in the season, I think, as well as what it does for your confidence early on. So a lot of good positive things for playing a good team in a tough environment like this.
You go back to your days at Wisconsin in the Big Ten and playing Indiana. I mean, those were battles back in those days.
Yeah, battles. I mean, there are a lot of hard places to play in that conference, but that's one of them, particularly when they're playing well and when their fans believe that their team is good. It's a tough place to play, but those make for some of the best games, and certainly for some of the best victories if you're fortunate enough to come out and get a win.
A really tough front court you're going against. How are you planning on preparing for that?
Yeah, we try to simulate what we can. It's hard to do it. One, because Colin Murray Boyles can't play against himself. If he could, I think that'd probably be one of the best ways that we could replicate their guy. But then, and then Benjamin Bosman wasn't here today. It's hard. He's in law school and he's got class today, but it's hard to simulate Balo. Just he's a massive guy. But Ben's probably our best chance to do it just in terms of his overall mass. So, just try to go over a couple of things that we want to get done. Ways that you concede points might happen, and ways in which points probably should not happen according to your game plan. And then, go over those things, and hopefully you're well versed enough that when you get in the game, you're not thinking about those things, you're just doing them out of reaction.
Kind of away from Saturday, but is there an update on Federico's status?
No, I'm currently getting like a week by week update on it, and so all the information is in, as I've been told, and it's just about having the NCAA review. It's a process. We had to have a translation of the transcript, and a lot of different things were involved in it, so I think we're just waiting ultimately on a review from the NCAA, and then ultimately the final decision.
How excited are you for Grant Polk and E.J. Walker to be officially signed and part of the program now?
Yeah, I'm really excited about our young guys. If you think about all the things that your job is, and one of them is a provider of dreams in some ways. Like, these guys have dreamt of playing at this level and developing into a next level player for as long as they can remember, probably. And so you get the opportunity to help them achieve that goal. And so that's a neat thing. It's probably the neatest thing when I think about bringing new young people in to your program. But really excited about them. They're both skilled guys. They have a good feel for the game of basketball. Good size guys, and as everyone knows, I like guys with size and skill and feel. Competitiveness is another thing, but EJ is just a very, very versatile guy, and Grant is one of the best young shooters that I've seen in a long time.
Lamont, you spoke so highly of Jacoby Wright after the Towson game. You use words like loyalty and rarity. What do you have found is the best way to utilize a player like him?
I don't know. You kind of just let him go out there and do his thing and make decisions. And the game of basketball there's so many moving parts on any one possession even. The amount of decisions that have to be made, And so you like to have guys that you trust what their decision-making process is. So for a guy like that, you just get him out there. He's well versed on what we would like to, how we would like to play, and then you just trust those guys to make the decisions that they need to make, and they got to make them in a nanosecond sometimes. And so, but he's been a good decision maker for us. Hopefully he can continue to shoot the ball the way he is. He's really confident in his shooting right now, and he's just a very, I hate to say safe, as if it's some sort of, there's a negative connotation associated with that, but he's very reliable. That's the word that I would probably use the most, which is a quality that I hold in highest regard for any athlete.
You have a unique perspective with the Big Ten and SEC coaching experience. What do you think the biggest difference in the level of basketball between these two conferences is?
Yeah, I think the overall level, while it's similar, just stylistically, there are a lot of differences. I think in my time, I haven't watched near as much Big Ten now that I'm in the SEC, obviously, but in my time in the Big Ten, it was a fairly homogeneous style of basketball. Year after year, you could count on what was going to work in that league and what wasn't, and the number of teams that played similarly were vast. In this league, they're just more different styles, more variety in styles, and so that presents another whole set of challenges. But both teams both leagues are very good. I think 2 years ago we tied for the most teams in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago. So from a level standpoint, they're both very similar leagues that way. But I do just think there are some drastic differences stylistically.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.